Leo nimeamua kuguza mahali watu wengi wanaogopaga kuguza. Kwa sababu hizi conversation lazima we have this conversation. So tuongelee story ya discrimination. So discrimination Google, simple Google search itakuletea discrimination as the practice of unfairly treating a person or a group of people differently from other people or groups of people. So iko na story ya unfairly. Right? Then tunakuja hapa story ya distinction, making a distinction. Kukona treating a person unfairly, tuangalia hii discrimination is treating a person unfairly because of who they are or because they possess certain characteristics. Hili yenye nataka sana kuangalia story ya discrimination hapa, my position is that discrimination is neither good or bad. It depends na situation and why it is happening. Sawa? So that is where I'm coming from. That discrimination si mbaya. Discrimination is an instance where una make a distinction about something, and so you separate. So to discriminate is to separate. So let me just take let me check hapa something that serves to differentiate, right? The power of making fine distinctions or discriminating judgment, and making an act or instance of making a distinction. So separate, distinction. This is different from this. So to differentiate, that's what I want to talk about today. Hiyo ndio tunataka kuangazia. And I know watu wengine wataleta ma feelings kama kawaida because they are so invested in some of these things that hawako in a position to look at it logically. Kiangalia hii channel yangu, it is offensive and honest and critical and open. So if wewe ni hapa na ujai ku-offended na anything naongelea, then inaonekana wewe level yako ya analysis, critical thinking iko very high, ama iko so low that huoni issues. Either of the two. Now, discrimination iko kila mahali. That's how as human beings we are wired. We are wired to discriminate. That's why we have preferences. Preferences discriminate. For example, let's look at job market. So hakuna vacancy yenye utaona iko tu vacancy announcement, anyone apply. Hakuna. Na kama iko mimi sijaona, I'm yet to see. If unajua, please point me to it. And hiyo ni ile job yenye nobody will want, or few people will want, because a job that can be done by anyone is not a job that is worth doing, especially if unataka ku earn money and create wealth from it. A job that can just be done by anyone. So let's look at the job market. Vacancy announcement inakuwaga na one, education level. So if vacancy yenye nimeona inasema mtu ako na PhD, inamaanisha ina discriminate against anyone with a master's, anyone with a undergrad degree, anyone with a diploma, and anyone with a certificate, and anyone with no certificate. Imesha discriminate against our wote because nataka mtu ako na PhD. So already discrimination isha happen. Tuangalie skills. If hii ni job ya plumber, inataka tu mtu ako na skill ya plumbing. So discriminate against all other skills: banking, financial management, masonry, carpentry, mining, computer engineering. Nyinyi wote mmekuwa discriminated against because huyu mtu anataka plumber. So discrimination isha happen. Then look at age. If job imesema inataka youth, inamaanisha anyone mwenye hayuko kwa hiyo bracket ya youth ako discriminated against. So discrimination happens everywhere. Tuangalie kwa marriage. Kwa marriage, a woman chooses who to get married to, and a man chooses who to marry. So by choosing one woman, discriminate against all the other women. Yes. Hapa nataka tuangalie vitu logically. Simplicity saa zingine inakuwaga the best approach. Usicomplicate vitu. If you're married to one woman, namaanisha discriminate against all other women. If you're married to one man, namaanisha discriminate against all other men. Tuangalia kwa law. Kuna law abiding citizens, kuko na law breaking citizens, kuko na a distinction, a discrimination, a separation of the two. You break the law, you taken to court, you go to jail. You are a law-abiding citizen. If you live in an ideal, so if you are living in an ideal society, then ungekuwa na issues na law. However, we know some of these things happen. However, kuna hiyo distinction that kuko na laws discriminate. They distinguish between the crimes. You know, even sentences was not discriminate. Hakuna one sentence for all crimes. Capital crimes zinakuwaga na separate sentencing. Tuangalie kuko na law like sentencing ya murder ni different from sentencing ya manslaughter. But kwa hizo vitu mbili somebody died. But kuko na discrimination, kuko na separation, kuko na distinction between the two. And the sentences are different. So they discriminate. So somebody who commits murder gets more years than somebody who is convicted of manslaughter. But kwa both situations, somebody lost their life. But these are two distinct laws being applied, meaning that kuko na separation, meaning kuko na discrimination. So my point is, discrimination si mbaya. It is the nuance, it is what is behind it, it is what is fueling it. And I want to take this conversation further. So you have a job that is for youth. It is discriminating, it is discriminatory. It becomes something bad if you cannot say why you need a youth, why specifically you want a youth. Why specifically you want youth? Why you are discriminating against everybody else? What is this thing that this young person, this youth, is bringing on the table that somebody else cannot? So tuseme kama ni kitu kama project management, where you just want to manage projects. Anyone can do it. Anyone who is of legal age, of course. Anyone can do it. So why do you want a youth to do it? If you cannot answer that question, why specifically you want a youth that is distinct and can hold water, then you are doing bad discrimination. So that is, discrimination hapo sasa ni mbaya. Even if what you are doing in your mind is justified or the end you think is good. The means, even if you think the end is good, the means is bad. So that means the whole thing is bad. But if you can prove and, just give receipts which are logical, which anyone can look at and say, yes, I understand why that is being done. For example, if you are doing a youth program, right, and you want somebody who is the project manager to be able to relate, to be able for the young people to identify with because it is important for the program, then that is justified. So that is not bad discrimination, it is good discrimination. Or neutral discrimination, because it has no, yes, it may affect watu because somebody who is as qualified and as competent hajapata your job just because of the age factor, something which hatuna control over. Right now mimi sina control over my age, the youthful person ana control over age yake. So umeni discriminate over something which I have no control over. How different is that from issue ya race, from issue ya tribe, from issue ya sex and gender? And let's say uko na job yenye unasema ni ya madem, for a woman or women. So anyone who is not female, mimi wacha nikwe tu clear. Mimi na identify women as people who are biologically female, like an adult female. That's what a woman is to me. Hao watu wengine wenye wanasema gao ni women but hao si adult females, au watajua hao ni nini. Anyway, that's besides the point. So why are you reserving this job for a woman? What is it that a woman possesses that a man does not? A man who is as qualified and as competent. Ni nini hiyo yenye huyu woman ako nayo yenye analeta kwa hii meza yenye mwanaume mwenye ako as qualified and as competent hana? If it is a woman's program and you want somebody who the women can relate to, somebody who understands the plight of women, somebody with the lived experience of a woman, then I understand. Because men, sisi, hatujui what it means to be a woman. Sisi hatuna hiyo experience. So if your experience ina add value to the project and to the outcomes desired, then I get it. If not, then hiyo ni upuzi tu mnafanya. So we have preferences as human beings, and our preferences are discriminatory. If you like chapo is your favorite food, inamaanisha githeri is not, inamaanisha wali is not, inamaanisha like discriminate, like distinguish, separate, put something above all others. Tupatane kwa next video.